Hey guys, welcome to the Daily Analysis. It is January 24th, 2013, which is a Thursday, and the markets are moving again today for the most part. It's about 3:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here, and so we're getting pretty close to these daily bars closing. And just want to talk about some of the movements today, some of the potential going forward, and what to look out for. All right, before we get into that, let's take a look at our news. All right, guys, news is relatively light tomorrow. You can see that there is some London session stuff with German IFO and prelim GDP. So both euro and pound should be affected in the London session. And then as far as New York session, we have 8:30 a.m. CAD news, and then the 10 a.m. new home sales announcement for U.S. dollar. So U.S. dollar got some great news today with the unemployment. Very positive for the U.S. dollar, which we didn't really see follow through too much in the market, but we'll see if we can back that up with a good home sales announcement. Expected forecast is 387,000 new home sales, so anything way off that mark could spell some serious movement for the U.S. dollar crosses. All right, guys, so that's your news for tomorrow. Not too much, but certainly enough to keep your mind on it. All right, guys, then I just want to quickly cover our terms. And basically, the idea of the terms is that the daily analysis is not an investment advising service. We're not telling you what to do with your money. It's just for educational purposes only. Okay, so because the United States government has very strict rules in line with these things, we want to be very clear as to what exactly the daily analysis is all about. Okay, so if you need to pause and review through that, please go ahead and do so. Okay, guys, so we want to start off talking about the euro dollar today. And as you may know if you've been watching my analysis for the past few days, the euro is still kind of hanging up in this range, which is not really a tradable area for me. I talked about waiting for it to come down into the bottom of the trend line range somewhere in here to look to take it back long. And so we're still a ways away from that. One interesting thing is that we're kind of developing this range within the channel that we already have, so it's kind of a range within a range here. When it breaks out of this, if it breaks to the top, there won't be too much room to go before testing our trend line. But if we get a reversal and a breakdown to the bottom, then we can definitely look for buys again in the near term as this trend line kind of rises up towards current price. Obviously, if price were to go sideways for a long time, eventually it's going to run into this trend line and meet that. So potentially there could just be some sideways movement and won't be too big of a move back down to the trend line. I personally would prefer, a stronger move right down to get down to the trend line because that would mean a better price and even the possibility that the trend line could also intersect with one of our support zones in here. And obviously more confirmation is better and then look to go long from there. But we'll wait and see. The euro had a nice pop today. Those of you who we're following the analysis yesterday. I talked about the Euro CAD, which CAD still was weak today, so the Euro CAD exploded. We'll take a look at that. But the Euro is still really pulling a lot of strength on a regular basis. So whether it'll drop down a few days for us and give us another entry, I don't know, but I sure do like the prospect of getting long on these Euro crosses because the Euro has been very consistent and is not showing any signs of slowing down that I can see. So here's the EuroCAD that I was mentioning. I showed you that the momentum really picked up yesterday, and it obviously bounced off this previous top and made a higher high, going through 133, which was kind of a level here, a little bit of a psych level. Went right through that, and then today's bar, just same kind of acceleration, similar size bar, continued up very nicely and broke through our next level, which was like 133.36 in this area. Was actually a decent level that it broke right through. So now, really, our next level would be here, which we are getting very close. Let me draw this line there. So this is kind of our next level in the 45 area, which we're heading toward now. So if it comes up here, this could be a nice area to short, trying to catch it at least coming back down to the previous high or even all the way back down on the trend line. But again, shorting the euro is not exactly on the top of my priority list at this point. So that might be one that I let go even if we do get a bounce from our next point. But either way, EuroCAD moving great. Obviously, kind of the slope of this move has been broken. It's higher than the slope of this uptrend. So we could definitely get a pullback right into the top here, even if it is going to continue. Just be looking at the EuroCAD closely for any buy potential there, because obviously we've seen what the Euro Pound can do, what some of these other Euro crosses can do. If it's going to take off, you don't want to miss it. Speaking of the Euro Pound, you can see obviously just Mega continuation on the euro pound. It struggled at this level for just a few days and then broke all the way up to 85 almost. Keep in mind that up here in the 85 area is a pretty nice resistance level. So we're just a few pips away from getting there, and that is a pretty major area of resistance. If I scroll this back a little bit, you can kind of see where some of these areas tie in. So be mindful of that area, but right now, I mean, just the way this euro pound is moving, euro is just dominating the pound in terms of strength. It doesn't even seem like there's any reason it should stop. So keep your eye on that one, doing pretty amazing things. Hopefully, some of you were smart enough to jump in long right on this little 1 bar retrace. I certainly was not not smart enough to do it, but hopefully some of you were, and you caught the next leg, because euro pound just jumping at pretty amazing rates. For the euro pound to move up 600 plus pips since it has at this point is just an incredible move, because the euro pound typically moves so slowly, does not cover a lot of pips. But as you can see, the trend is on fire, and this recent leg is on fire times 2, just with the amount of momentum and straight up bullish overtaking we've seen from the euro. Pretty incredible. Okay, so that leads me to our pound, which here we go. Euro went up today, pound went down. That seems to be the norm lately, which is just so weird to me, honestly, that's happening. But it's happening quite often. And here's just another example. Euro pound, pretty bearish day. We did come right into the 157.57 area to be exact, and that is a pretty major level. You can see here a little bit of consolidation here, and then another point here. So pretty major level. Definitely an area of support if you're looking to catch this thing on a jump back up. Definitely a good trade possibility for the pound dollar. We'll see exactly how this pans out, but I'm thinking that we could at least get a bounce right back into the top of the range. That might be one that I look to take on a smaller time frame. If I can get the risk to reward to line up, I'll have to take a look, see how things close out here, but that could be a potential trade. If you take it now with an aggressive stop loss in here and looking for the probability that it bounces up to here, you could be in for a 3-to-1 or even a 4-to-1 risk to reward on just the small bounce. Well, maybe not 4-to-1, but 2-to-1 to 3-to-1. But just capturing that small bounce could be a nice trade potential. So that's one that I'll look into a little more closely. Send out a tweet on Twitter if I decide to take that one. All right. So by the way, follow me on Twitter so that you can get that. So that's the pound, definitely at a major level, looking to bounce. We'll see what happens. I envision that it could very well stay in this range for a while before making a move. But with the pound and the way things are moving now, it could break right lower. It could reverse all the way up. I mean, it could do anything. I almost have a hard time even trying to predict these euro, pound, yen crosses, all these pairs that are just moving and doing these things. You can't take a traditional prediction method toward it and try to figure out what it could do. It's almost more of just reacting as it breaks through the major levels and trying to capture it in the moment, which seems to be really the only way to trade. That's what I did on that odd yen. It's working out pretty nicely for me now. So when pairs are moving like this, it's a reactionary game. It's looking for the major levels, spotting them, and then taking it as it happens, rather than saying, okay, if it bounces in this range, then breaks out, then retests 159, then continues up with 3 bars, then breaks through 160 with a small continuation tail, then I'll take it long with a stop loss at 159.50 and a target at 162.30. That kind of trading is a little more difficult in these market conditions because things are very unpredictable. They're going opposite ways. They're doing things that we don't expect, and so if you want to get in, if you want to get pips, you almost have to be a little more reactionary about your trading. Don't do anything stupid or outside of your trading plan, but just be aware that the market's doing a lot that is not typical movement. Even some of the moves that go 300 pips down, it's not even swinging back and forth. It's just a straight free fall, which is not what we're typically used to seeing in the market. So because of that, you have to adapt sometimes a little bit, and this could be one of those situations where you need to do that. And speaking of these yen crosses, the U.S. yen had an epic day today. I mean, just a bullish powerhouse bar right off of this 88.40 or 88.50, however high you get your resistance point up there. But either way, just a massive bar. You can see this little range developing here. We had the original spike, then it started consolidating a little bit as it moved up, and now you see that we're kind of generating this little wedge as it moves up. But I'll tell you, I don't remember seeing a bar this big on the US yen in a long time. Even through this whole up move, this is the biggest bar, and you can see that it's over 165 pips on the US yen. Pretty powerful, and so we'll see. I mean, based on this kind of range that we have here, however you want to draw it, you would think that this could very well come up a little higher before maybe continuing the range. So maybe the US yen isn't even done. Maybe tomorrow will be another similar move. Maybe not similar to this bar, but good, strong continuation. Definitely possible for the US yen. I just simply don't believe that this run is over when I see these kind of momentum bars in the market. The yen has more weakness to show, I think. So pretty incredible move, and I'm waiting anticipation to see how much higher this thing will go. Speaking of continuation, USD CAD had a nice continuation bar. You can see that I took profits pretty early toward the top of yesterday's bar, but we did continue nicely right into our zone here. So now we're at a pretty nice crossroads. This is a big zone. It's the 50 fib. It's a major major current resistance, current support and resistance clusters, and we'll see if we get a strong bounce. Maybe it'll bounce back towards some other levels, or maybe we'll finally get that break and we'll look toward our next level. The 61.8 fib would be a good level, and then really after that we could talk about targeting all the way back up toward these higher highs. There's a lot of range for the USD CAD to go if it breaks upward. Maybe if we continue to get some of the good U.S. news, this thing could actually make a run towards some of these areas like 101, then 102, and then obviously much higher if it can break through some of the key levels. But I'll keep a close eye on the USD CAD. If it breaks through this, maybe we'll get that classic thing where it breaks through, retest, then shows continuation. That's always a great move, and a retest on a strong level like this is a great opportunity to trade. So I'm going to be keeping my eyes on that one like a hawk, waiting for that potential opportunity on the USD CAD. All right, guys, that's about it. A lot of movement today, a lot of stuff to cover. Definitely some trade potentials. That pound dollar one is one that I'm definitely going to keep a close eye on. And then obviously if the USD CAD can break some levels, I am still holding on to my odd yen. I actually added to the trade. I was going to end it, but let me switch over and show you exactly what I did there. The odd yen is a trade I got in at the very bottom here. I actually jumped in very low down toward the bottom of this bar right here. So I was up like 200 pips on the first day. Then it pulled back and back and back. And then yesterday when it set up again right here, what I did was I took my original trade. I locked my stop into a little bit of profit here, and then I re-entered another position with a tighter stop, so much bigger size. So now I have two trades with still very limited risk, and then it moved up. And actually now I have both stops locked into profit. So even if it reverses, I'll get some profit out of the trade. But what's great is that I have a big high target. I'm talking about what if it hits 100? I'm going to hold out and try to hit 100. Well, now that was like a 4-to-1 or a 5-to-1, but now it's like a 15-to-1 risk to reward ratio because of my added position, and I did it without adding any risk. So I'm pretty excited about this trade. Obviously, there's a high potential that because I moved my stop up, I could get knocked out of the trade before it goes. But definitely the risk of getting knocked out early was worth it to take that opportunity to add and increase my profit potential. So just want to keep you updated on my trades. That's one where I'll keep you updated continually, but pretty excited about the prospect of this thing breaking up, going higher, and potentially being a pretty whopping percent gain in my account. Okay, so that's it for the analysis now. Finished covering all my pairs and all my trades now. So thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it as always. And if you don't mind, I really appreciate shares on Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff. Really means a lot when we can get it out to as many people as possible. So if you don't mind taking a minute to do that, I would really appreciate it. All right, guys, talk to you tomorrow.